Welcome back to our Shaw Studios in Prospera Place in Kelowna for Ask the Mayor. Today we're sitting down with Penticton Mayor Andrew Jakubeit. And we touched on this very briefly off the top. We talking about things that surprised you or that were more difficult to deal with in your term as mayor. Now, the Skaha Marina and waterslides development project, obviously an emotional issue in town, a lot of letters to the editor, some protests, that kind of thing. I'm going to talk a little bit about the process, maybe, just talk about the project and how it came about, and maybe we can talk a little bit then about the public's reaction to it.
Sure. So Council's strategic priorities have been downtown revitalization and waterfront enhancement. And when we looked at Skaha Lake, there was a marina which also had a boat dealership on there and boat storage. And as that lease was coming to an end, we sort of looked, is that really the best use of that piece of land, right on the water, great piece of land. And so we started an RFP process, what else could you do to enhance the waterfront on Skaha Lake? And so we had several things come back, and we focused in on Trio Marine Group, which talked about expanding the marina, adding, I think, 30 or 40 more slips and modernizing that, putting some sort of signature restaurant there. And they also wanted to leverage the fact that everyone's going to be in one area with a water slide or water park. And so that took a while of negotiating, because it was also with the province to get part of the lease, because they own the water rights. And when it finally came out to the public, it was sort of introduced end of May, and it was a very short window, 30 days for the community to be engaged with. And the developers kind of went to some of the larger pockets, like some of the chamber and senior center and some other tourism, those types of things. And so for the individual resident, they basically had whatever the media put out there, and probably limited engagement opportunities. And I think that was sort of the biggest issue for many people. It was just the engagement process, and they were, I think, upset. I mean, some were upset that it's a natural park and you should just leave it as parks, like natural park space.
Right, because that's definitely a movement to just keep parks.
Right, and others, I think, were upset with the whole process. That they just didn't have enough time to sort of soak it in, to participate in what they would like to see there. And if we looked at some of the other projects, now this was developer-led, other project the city-led, right. Like along the lakeshore on Okanagan Lake, that walkway, or downtown revitalization. We took probably over a year and a half to sort of engage with the people and the community, and people would come in, they could put their little sticky note on what their comment or concern was, and then two, 3 months later, when they came back, they could say, that the revised drawing showed a park bench or whatever that they commented on. And I think they felt a little bit more vested into that whole concept and the change that brought along. And I think that was the biggest missing step here.
Yeah, like people maybe had the feeling that a deal was done behind closed doors and that they didn't get a chance to input into it.
Yeah, and I think had they had that chance to sort of sit down with the developer and kind of talk it through what could be put there to sort of enhance the park environment and ensure there was greater public access, or all these sort of some of the questions, and there was no real model to kind of show the footprint of it, because some people just have this picture in their head that's this monolithic, big, ugly block, and and then people had difficulty understanding the scale of the project, how much land it would take up, and how it would blend in with the trees, or would it blend in with the trees, how many trees are going to be displaced or gone, all those sorts of things that really more information needed to be presented about it, and more time for the community to participate. And maybe the end product might have been not 4 slides, but 2 slides, or something else there, or whatever. And that never took place. And I think that's been part of the frustration from the community.
And is that like a lesson that you think the council has learned, or is it a way to deal with these sort of developer-led projects, because it's a real estate negotiation that has to be done somewhat in camera?
Well, that part, sort of to set up the deal, that's not the issue. The issue is rolling it out, and not only was it developer-led and they sort of had a 30-day window to do that, we didn't have staff sort of tag along to help address questions that the developer probably couldn't answer. Right. And also when it came back to council, sort of validate the assertions of the developer, whatever they made. Hey, we went out to the public and this was said or this wasn't said. Well, you know, really need to have staff there to sort of validate, yes, there was a concern raised, or this was, you know, what was talked about, that kind of thing. And I think definitely that's probably been the biggest lesson learned. And I think moving forward, we're really focusing on community engagement strategies. So how do we get a robust array of the community to participate and feel comfortable voicing their support or non-support or what they'd like to see happen? That's a lesson learned.
Yeah, do you think that when it's up and running, that this rift will heal? That people will say that it isn't maybe as big a problem as they thought it might be, or?
Well, it's still an issue. You know, there are some people who started a society, and you know, they actually took the city and the developer to court to say, you know, we think you're outside your mandate to allow this in park and on park land, or we don't like that. And so that's sort of playing out its course right now, and really a lot of onus is on back to the developer to kind of re-gauge the project itself, and you know, is this the hill to die on for them, and what else could they do? How else could they engage the community to better shape the future opportunity if one still exists?
So you also said that one of the priorities for council was downtown revitalization, and that's another project that's beginning to go ahead. Can you talk a little bit about why that is a priority for you and what this project is going to look like?
Yeah, I think downtown revitalization is a priority because, you know, the downtown is sort of the heart of the city where you sort of gather as a community. I think many people go to downtowns to sort of gauge the vitality of a community, and I think downtown is sort of where you have the best opportunity for densification and where people don't have a problem with having a tower for condos or for living, and office towers and mixed use, those sorts of things. And so there's great opportunity, and for people to want to live downtown, you need to create a sense of vibrancy and having downtown where it's a people place, and part of the downtown revitalization on Main Street, which is starting later on this month, is going from 3 lanes of traffic to 2 lanes of traffic, wider sidewalks to enhance that pedestrian experience and really give that opportunity to engage with the merchants and the retailers, and give more opportunity for you to have your morning coffee, people watching, or your afternoon beer, or whatever it is. And that's where a downtown's been important, and we've been going 1 year doing a downtown project, and then next year doing a waterfront enhancement project, then going back to downtown. And so this year we are doing the 200 block in March through June, and then we'll take the summer off, and then come September we'll do the 100 block, which is where City Hall is in Gyro Park. We'll make some changes there.
Now, there was also some talk about city facilities, some aging city facilities, maybe consolidating those into one location. Talk a little bit about that, perhaps.
Yeah, we just started this conversation, and we kind of looked at, I think we have 25 buildings that are an average age of 40 years old, and they're projected about $30 million of investment over the next 10 years. And at some point in time, we have to decide, do we repair or do we replace, and which buildings are our priorities to do such a thing. And does it make sense operationally for efficiencies if we combine 2 or 3 city facilities under one roof? And so we used an illustration of the convention center. Right. That industry is changing. We have the Lakeside Hotel is looking at not just expanding their hotel, but expanding their casino, their convention space, where the casino was. The casino is moving. So do we want to continue with the convention center business? So we're looking at that, and if we put and this is just for illustration purposes, if we put the library and museum in the convention center, we put the library and museum somewhere downtown, would that create more foot traffic for them? That be better exposure for them? Would that lower our cost of operations? Would that free up some land that we could use to finance doing those moves or another new piece of infrastructure that we need. So we just started that process. We're probably going to focus on the convention center, the soccer bubble, and the Memorial Arena as sort of those three high-profile buildings to see where we need to be moving with them, and what opportunities exist if we can consolidate it. And then from that report, we'll go to the community and say, here's some options. Does that make sense? What do you think? Some of these buildings have a lot of sentimental value, emotional value into it. Memorial Arena is probably the most sentimental value to a lot of people.
But that's got to be a building that costs a lot to maintain. And
it does, and it's
had a roof collapse.
64 years old, so at some point, like, does a new building kind of incorporate some of the same design elements? Can you still do more renovations to it and extend its life a bit longer? So those things are just getting looked at.
All right, now you talked about the casino moving from the Penticton Lakeside to a new location in the area of the South Okanagan Events Center. Talk a little bit about the expansion of that, because it's going to be quite a bit bigger, and this is a deal that the city has worked out with the casino operators.
Yeah, with Gateway Casino. So that's quite exciting because they looked at their lease coming to an end and they wanted to expand, and part of their expansion goes into food and entertainment, and there just wasn't the space to do it at the current location at the Lakeside Resort, and so they looked around and we made some spaces available or some options for them to consider, and we came to along the event center location, which we're quite excited because we always wanted that to be sort of that entertainment hub.
Right.
And so now you can come to before you go to a hockey game or a concert, you maybe go to the casino, and it's not just the gambling part of the casino. They're going to have a couple top-notch restaurants there. So whether it's a buffet or just a nice restaurant, so you can come there for a nice meal. You after a game, maybe go there for a drink or to gamble or to whatever it is, and it just adds to the whole entertainment hub.
There's like a theater or performing arts space in there, like for smaller bands, smaller acts.
Yeah, again, they wanted to focus on providing more entertainment and food alongside with what they already have for gambling opportunities, and of course they'll have a more expanded footprint there. So we're excited about the opportunity there, and it's right on the highway. It's very high exposure, and just again makes that complex that entertainment hub.
It's a pretty significant financial contributor to the city coffers.
Yes, as a host community, it's about $1.6 million is what we get annually now. That's projected to grow to 2.1 or $2.3 million. And then, of course, we lease them the land, so they're paying a lease. I think it's $200,000 lease payments, and then also taxes. There is part of the economic investment zone, so there are some relief of taxes, but they're still paying for school, regional district, and hospital. So that's about $100,000 a year, which is a significant chunk of change coming into our community. So we're really excited about that.
Now, there's an arrangement you made with the Penticton Indian Band to share some of that money as well.
Yeah, we sort of looked at the fact that we are increasing our host share from 1.6 to the low 2s. So there was opportunity to invest, and I think when we look at Penticton, we have lakes to the north and south of us, and the mountains to the east. So we really need to find some partnership with the Penticton Indian Band to grow our economy, to have more people come to our region. And if you don't have if you don't have the jobs there, you don't have the people, and you don't have the people, you don't like it. So everything works hand in hand, and it was a partnership opportunity for them to, for both of us to sort of grow, and we want to see both communities prosper harmoniously, and together is better. And it was an investment that we thought would pay dividends.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time for coming down and talking to us. We covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Really enjoyed the conversation. And we would love to hear more from you as we continue our series talking to Valley mayors. You can get a hold of us on Facebook, on Twitter, or by email, or even snail mail. We'll put all those addresses on the screen. And that is it for the show. I'm Doug Brown. Thank you very much for watching.